By 1979, the Pontiac Firebird Trans Am was the undisputed king of American performance. Smokey and the Bandit had turned it into a cultural phenomenon. The problem was, a loaded Trans Am would set you back over $9,000. Serious money back then. And if you wanted the good engine with the 4-speed, you were paying even more. Meanwhile, AMC, the smallest, most cash-strapped automaker in America, looked at the Trans Am and thought, we can beat that. They probably couldn't, but they tried anyway. They took the Gremlin's underlying platform, gave it a V8, and pointed it at the Nürburgring. And the result was one of the wildest, most unlikely performance cars of the late 1970s. And this is the story of the AMC Spirit AMX. To understand why this car exists, you have to understand how desperate AMC was by the late 1970s. The American Motors Corporation had always been the underdog. They weren't Ford, they weren't GM, they weren't even Chrysler. They were the scrappy little company out of Kenosha, Wisconsin, that survived on cleverness, tight budgets, and the occasional stroke of genius. By 1978, the energy crisis had hit them harder than anyone. There was no money for clean sheet designs. New models had to be cobbled together from existing platforms, existing tooling, and whatever parts were already on the shelf. AMC's design chief, Richard Dick Teague, was the master of exactly this kind of resourcefulness. Teague had already proven he could make magic from scraps. He'd restyled the Packard on a shoestring budget back in the 1950s, and he'd spent his entire career at AMC doing more with less than any designer in Detroit. When it came time to replace the aging Gremlin, a car that had been in production since 1970 and was long past its sell-by date, Teague didn't have the budget for a new car, so he did what he did best. He gave the Gremlin new sheet metal, a sleek new liftback roofline, cleaned up the proportions, and somehow turned one of the most polarizing shapes in American automotive history into something that looked genuinely attractive. The result was the AMC Spirit, introduced for the 1979 model year. But AMC wasn't content with just a restyled economy car. They wanted a halo variant, something with attitude, something that could go toe-to-toe with the Ford Mustang and the Pontiac Firebird in the showroom, at least visually. And so the Spirit AMX was born. The AMX badge had serious heritage at AMC. It had first appeared on the two-seat 1968 AMX, a genuine muscle car that had competed in drag racing and set speed records at Bonneville. By 1979, the AMX name had bounced around from the Javelin to the Hornet to the Concorde, losing a little more muscle with each move. Now it landed on the Spirit, and while the powertrain was a shadow of the original AMX's glory, the intent was unmistakable. This was AMC's performance car, and they were going to dress it up like one. The Spirit AMX came loaded with visual aggression. Fiberglass fender flares gave it a wider, more planted stance. A front air dam and rear spoiler added a motorsport-inspired profile. Blacked-out trim, louvered rear windows, bold graphics, and turbocast 2 aluminum wheels completed a package that looked like it meant business. The rally-tuned suspension included front and rear sway bars, quick-ratio power steering, and 3-way adjustable Gabriel Strider shock absorbers on all 4 corners. Heavy-duty front disc brakes gave it respectable stopping power. On paper, the chassis was properly sorted for a car in this price range. And that price was the Spirit AMX's secret weapon. A fully loaded V8 Spirit AMX topped out at around $6,100, roughly $3,000 less than a comparable Trans Am. For a young buyer in 1979 who wanted something that looked fast and had a V8, the AMX was the most affordable way to get there. The problem, of course, was what sat under the hood. AMC's 304 cubic inch V8 was a genuine small block, and in the early 1970s it had been a respectable performer. But by 1979, emissions regulations had strangled it down to just 125 horsepower. With a 2-barrel carburetor and all the required smog equipment, the 304 was, to put it generously, adequate. It would move the car. The Spirit only weighed about 3,000 pounds, but it wasn't going to win any drag races. Motor Trend diplomatically described the performance as not bad for the day. The 4-speed manual transmission helped keep things engaging, but the Spirit AMX was always more about the sizzle than the steak. It looked like a Trans Am fighter. It drove more like a Trans Am admirer. But here's where the story takes an absolutely insane turn, because despite all of its compromises, despite the strangled engine and the recycled Gremlin platform, AMC decided to take the Spirit AMX racing. Not at some local drag strip, not at a regional SCCA event. They sent it to the Nürburgring. In October of 1979, B.F. Goodrich and AMC partnered to enter 2 Spirit AMXs in the 24 Hours of Nürburgring, one of the most grueling endurance races on the planet. The Nordschleife was 14.1 miles per lap with 176 corners. Most racing teams spent months learning the circuit. The AMC team had minimal preparation time and little experience. The cars themselves were prepared by Team Highball, a North Carolina-based racing outfit led by IMSA, driver Amos Johnson, and engine builder Dennis Shaw. These 2 street stock 304 V8 AMXs were sourced from the factory, given Group 1 race modifications, and shipped to Germany with just 3 weeks of total preparation time. And the driver lineup? It read like a Hollywood casting call crossed with a motorsport fantasy draft. Alongside Johnson and Shaw, there was Jim Downing, a factory Mazda driver who would later co-invent the HANS device, one of the most important safety innovations in racing history. There was Lynn St. James, who would go on to become the first woman to win Indianapolis 500 Rookie of the Year. There was automotive journalist Gary Witzenberg, who documented the entire experience. And then there was James Brolin. Yes, the James Brolin, the A-list actor who also happened to be a serious amateur racing driver. B.F. Goodrich even brought a film crew to document the whole thing, with Brolin narrating. Oh, and one more detail. While every other car in the field was running on racing slicks, the 2 Spirit AMXs were running on B.F. Goodrich Radial TA street tires with raised white letters, because of course they were. The race itself threw everything at the team: rain, fog, broken shocks, suspension components yielding to the Nordschleife's punishing carousel corners. Brake fade so severe, the drivers were essentially managing stops on faith, a throttle cable that slipped from its bracket and had to be taped back in place. One car lost a front shock and a rear spring bracket during the night, costing an hour in the pits while the crew welded replacement parts sourced from a team member's personal street AMX that had been driven to the track. And yet, when the sun came up and the checkered flag fell, both Spirit AMXs were still running. They finished 25th and 43rd overall, and 1st and 2nd in their class out of a field of 120 cars. The first AMC entries in the history of the Nürburgring 24 Hours had just swept their class. On street tires. Back home, none of this mattered as much as it should have. The Spirit AMX was only offered with the V8 for the 1979 model year. Just 3,650 were built in AMX trim, making them genuinely rare. For 1980, AMC dropped the 304 V8 entirely, leaving the AMX with only the 258 cubic inch inline 6. The Spirit continued through 1983, before being replaced by the Alliance, and AMC itself would be absorbed by Chrysler by 1987. The Spirit AMX was the last AMC passenger car to ever receive a factory V8 engine, the end of a line that stretched back to the original AMX. But the Spirit AMX's legacy lives on in the hands of enthusiasts who understand what AMC was really doing with this car. Hot Rod magazine said it best: "These little cars are very cool, and while they're not traditional muscle cars, they're plenty strong in terms of performance." Owners have swapped in 360 and even 401 cubic inch AMC V8s, running quarter miles in the 11-second range. The platform is light, the engine bay is accommodating, and AMC parts are still available if you know where to look. For around $10,000 in total build cost, you can have a street-legal AMC Spirit that will embarrass cars with 5 times the investment. The Spirit AMX was never going to beat a Trans Am in a straight line. AMC knew that. Everyone knew that. but they built it anyway, with all the attitude, all the graphics, and all the fender flares they could muster, because AMC never stopped swinging. They took a 9-year-old Gremlin platform, gave it a gorgeous new suit, strapped on a V8, and sent it to Germany to race against BMWs and Opels on street tires. And they won their class. That's not just a car story, that's an AMC story. Let me know in the comments down below if you think the Spirit AMX deserved more respect than it ever got. Personally, I think AMC's last V8 car earned its stripes on the hardest racetrack in the world, and that should count for something. But thank you all for watching. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me out. Until next time, enthusiasts.